Hey everybody, it's Missy again with the Shimmerz education team, and I have a new layout for you today. I'm going to be using a lot of washi tape for this layout, and I got this pack of washi tape from Michaels a few months ago. It's the Recollections brand, and they're all these really pretty watercolor effect, and they've got different sayings on them. Some of them have shiny gold words, but they are such pretty colors, and I thought, I'm going to try to make a layout using just these washi tapes. So I went through my Shimmerz stash and I picked out several different products in colors that match these tapes. I've got Coloringz, Vibez, Texturez, Aqua Hues, and some of the original Shimmerz paints. So what I'm going to do to start with is take a scrap piece of cardstock and just pull off a bunch of strips of tape and stick them down. And no rhyme or reason here. I'm going to use a little bit of all of them. And you can see how pretty they are as I stick them down here. And the last time I went to Michaels, they were all sold out of this. I don't know, your Michaels may still have them, but I got them when they were 40% off. And they have a whole new collection out of this really pretty watercolor line. I'm not even sure what it's called, but I just had to have the washi tape, and it was on sale, so I could not pass it up. So I've got all this piece of paper covered here, and I'm just going to trim off the extra here. And I think it's pretty just like it is. Once I had put all these strips down, I almost didn't want to do anything to it because they're already watercolor, and just the colors alone really jump out and look really beautiful. But I'm going to jazz it up because I've got all my shimmers out and I wanted to test something. So what I'm going to do is take some white gesso, and my gesso's almost empty there. My lid has fallen off. And I'm just going to give it a light coat. Now, I don't want to cover up these really pretty bright colors, but I want to soften them up a little bit. And the gesso is going to give the tape a little bit of texture, and it's going to toughen it up a little bit and give it a layer. So when I add all of the wet medium, it's going to have a place to dry, and it's not just going to roll off the tape because of the nature of the texture of the tape. So I'm going to come in and do just a little bit of messy watercolor here. I'm going to use Jeni Bleu Vibez, and I'm just going to spray a little bit onto some plastic and smudge it down. I'm just really trying to enhance the colors that are on the washi tape. I'm not trying to cover them up because I don't want all those beautiful colors to be hidden underneath the shimmers. That green color is a Coloringz, and it is called Don't Citron Me. That was one of my favorite names of one of these products. It's so funny. This is one of the original Shimmerz paints, and this one is called Royal Red, and it's almost got a pink tint to it, reddish pink. It's very pretty and bold. And I'm just going to add my paintbrush to it, mix it up, and smush it around a little bit with a brush. And then I'm going to add the plastic to it. It's one thing I love about Shimmerz is you can really use all of them together. You're going to get some that have a really sparkly finish, like these original Shimmerz paints here. It's almost like there's glitter in them, and when they dry, they are so glittery. And then you've got the Vibez, which have a really pretty sparkly shimmer to them, and the Coloringz, which have no sparkle. They're just flat color. So when you combine all of these things on one project, you get a lot of different looks, and I love that about the Shimmerz. The other Shimmerz color that I'm using there is more of a hot pink, and it's called Magenta, and I love those two together. Very pretty. So you can kind of see what I'm doing here. No rhyme or reason. I'm doing splattering, I'm doing the packaging, I'm using a brush. I just want it to look like I watercolored on it. And so now I'm going to punch this out, and I just picked out 3 or 4 of my circle punches here. And this is one of my go-to layout designs. I've done several layouts with the messy background and then the punched circles. And lately I've been in a slump where my ideas just are not flowing, and everything I make just seems kind of blah to me. And so whenever I get like that and I can't think of a new idea or I get stuck, I just go back to do one of my tried and true techniques that I know works. And for me, that's what I'm doing now. Creating a background and then punching the circles. It almost always works. It just kind of makes itself. Now that I have all these circles, all I have to do is pick the photo that I want to use. I had narrowed it down to 2, and I'm going to wind up using that one. And so once you've got your circles out, you just arrange them on the page, and there's your design. Then you just embellish, and that's it. So I've picked out the Amy Tan Rise and Shine sticker sheet. It's that clear sticker sheet. I've actually got 2 of those, and I love it so much I wish I had 4 or 5 more. So I'm going to incorporate some of those stickers into my layout. My background's white cardstock here, and that is clear gesso that I'm smudging down with an old credit card. And the main reason I'm doing this is because I'm going to add more shimmers to the background, and I just want to make sure that I'm able to blend it very nicely and easily. Okay, so this one I'm using here is Texturez. Now Texturez is like the Dazzlers. It's a texture paste, except this has a very gritty finish. It's almost like there's sand mixed in with it. So it's very, very rough to the touch, and it gives you a really, really good texture. This is called Marigold Digger, and it's just a very, very pretty, bright orangey color, almost like a sherbet color. And that's an old Dilutions, well, not old, but I've had it for a while, an Dilutions stencil. And I kind of smudged it when I tried to add more to it there. You can kind of see where the circles are smudged. So here's what I do to fix it. I just take a napkin, ball it up, and smudge it over the part that I don't like. And it's going to just smudge the color a little bit. Fixed. Done. Instead of throwing it away, just smudge it. And there you go. That's my philosophy. If you mess it up, just smudge around it or smudge on top of it. Add another color, and there you go. So this is Coloringz in Pretty in Pink, and now that the the Texturez is dry, I'm just going to smudge it on with some plastic. And I love pink and orange together. Just think it's so bright and fun. And going back to the Jeni Bleu here, I'm going to just add some splatters. I'm just kind of adding some pizzazz to this background before I add my circles. It just needed a little something extra, and I didn't want to use any pattern paper on this. So this entire layout is just the cardstock background, the washi tape circles, and then some stickers and a little bit of embellishing. So this just shows that you really don't need a lot of pattern paper. If you don't have a lot of pattern paper in your stash, if you've got some mixed media products, this is something that you could do. Now, before I moved all those circles the first time, I did take a picture of it because I knew I would never remember where I had put them all the first time. So that's a little tip you could do with your cell phone, is just take a quick picture for reference. So I've got the circles where I want them, and I love how that's looking. I love these colors. All of these are my favorite go-to colors, and it's just easier for me to create layouts with these bright colors. I don't know, whenever I create a layout that is a different color scheme, it's always a challenge for me. And I love challenges, don't get me wrong, but just I struggle. So this was nice to do a layout just kind of load. So I'm going to start to come in with these clear stickers, and I love that they look like watercolor. I love that one that I just stuck down with the flower on it. I love that bright pink and that orangey color and how it just kind of looks like I painted it. I'm just going to cut the sticker in half because I only want half of it to show, so there's no sense in wasting the whole thing. So I'm going to tuck it under those other 2 circles there. And I love that this washi tape collection but it's also got that lime green color. Gonna add a little bit more of the pink, and I love the texture that just created. And I think a lot of that was because I added the clear gesso first, and the clear gesso is kind of gritty, and it almost feels like if you touch it after it's dry, you get a little bit of residue on your hand. And some people, I know that bothers, but it doesn't bother me. I just think it adds to the texture of the project. So I'm just going to play around a little bit more with the blue. And I don't want to overdo it because we've got all the circles down there, but I did want to add some more color kind of coming out from behind where the photo is going to go. And that picture is of Paige from a few years ago. She kept climbing onto the kitchen table, and she actually still does. But even though I kept getting onto her, she kept doing it and laughing. So naturally, I finally just had to take a picture of it so I would not forget that cute little phase in her life. Even though she's still doing it, I guess it's just a really long phase. Okay, so I wanted to add a little bit more of that bright orange texture. So I just smudged some onto a little piece of paper here that I was about to throw away, and then used my practically broken 1-inch circle punch to punch more circles. It's not punching all the way through, and it's not the texture's fault. It's my punch's fault. It's broken because it does that on everything that I use it for. So I'm going to be purchasing a new one soon because it's making me crazy. So I'm going to come in with more of these Amy Tan stickers here. I'm going to use these 2 little cameras. And I did some gold stitching off camera. I just did kind of a crisscross in between each of those stitch circles, or the washi tape circles. So now they are not going anywhere. And you can see how the texture's there. It's got that shimmery sparkle. Okay, so what I'm going to use for layers here is this pack of Project Life cards. And this is from Me and My Big Ideas. Found this at Hobby Lobby several months ago. And I don't even do Project Life, but I saw this and the colors just, I had to have it for the color factor. I knew I would use them for layering or for fussy cutting or something, because those bright colors were just calling out to me. Buy me, please. And who am I to argue when scrapbooking products tell me to buy them? So I had to. Thread is next, and I'm going to use the lime green color. I'm going to use some of the bright orange and some of the bright pink, and just kind of make my little messy bundles of thread and layer them under the picture. Now I'm going to come in with some things that are just in my general stash of stuff. I have this little container, this little crate on my desk that just kind of has a bunch of odds and ends, I guess you could say. This is a Me and My Big Ideas sticker pack, and it didn't come with anything in particular when I bought it. I just liked stickers in it, and I thought, you know, I can use these on random layouts, and so that's kind of what I'm doing here, going through my little random crate of stuff and picking out things that match. And so that's where I'm getting these little label stickers, that answer, and I pulled stuff out from time to time when I'm creating a layout from my stash and not a particular collection. These are some beautiful glittery green thickers that I've had for a long time. Finally have a layout that coordinates to match so I can use them. And then that's a Heidi Swap puffy sticker. So my title is going to be Hey Cuteness. And then I pulled a flare button from a Flare for Buttons, and it's orange, and it says Good Life. And so what's the one color that I'm lacking in that area? And it's the blue. And so that's the thread that I go for. So now in that little block, I've got orange, blue, green, and pink. Anyway, that's how my mind works when I'm working with color, is I try to pick all the colors that I'm using. And since I've already got a green title, a pink title, and an orange button, I need a color that's not one of those three, and so that's why I went for the blue. A couple more flare buttons, a couple more bundles of thread, and then I'm going to add my journaling, and I believe that's it. Yep, there's the final page. I really love how this turned out. I think the washi tape and the shimmers together look really pretty and bright, and just came together easily. I think doing a layout based on one of your own layouts can really help get your mojo going again once you lose it. So let me know if you have any questions about any of these Shimmerz products or anything that I did here. Make sure you check out the Shimmerz website, and thanks for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.